I'm Joseph Martinez. I go down to Valley High School. I was born in San Antonio, but my family moved here into Albuquerque.
And when Joey was born, my wife was in the military. She was Air Force, and I just finished a military career and started teaching and coaching in Texas schools. And we wanted to get Joseph back here because his grandparents were aging and wanted to make sure they had a good relationship. And so we ended up back in New Mexico, where my wife and I are from, born and raised.
We found out I was 10 years old in the 5th grade. My eyes were really red, so my mom took me to the doctor, and we made an appointment with the ophthalmologist, and he said that I had uveitis, and I remember it was the day before Valentine's Day, actually. So I had uveitis, and the doctor told me that in 2 weeks I was going to go blind if we didn't do anything to try and fight it. So that's when we found out, and I was just put on a lot of heavy medication right away. So I was put on these steroid drops that I had to take every 2 hours, and then an ointment to take at night, and then I started to take methotrexate and Humira, which both they both make me sick. So I ended up missing a lot of school days over the past 5 years, just because when I take the medicine I'd be too sick to go to school.
Well, it was Joseph has always been very athletic. He a nice student, just an all-around good kid, very obedient, very godly. So at first, when he came home with the red eyes, and I just assumed it was allergies, so I kept telling his mom and Joseph, well, they're allergies, they'll pass. And when it didn't go away that quickly, this is a testament to moms, actually, and their tenacity and care for their children. My wife kept insisting that he needed to see a doctor, so we saw his primary, and the primary doctor thought maybe it was bacterial, so gave him something for that. And then my wife just stayed on it, and she demanded that he see an ophthalmologist, and fortunately we did, because it was a lot more serious than we thought. But we had to start with a new lifestyle, and it included her and I having to take time off to get him to his doctor's appointments. Of course, there's the not knowing, and we started getting into some exploration on what uveitis was exactly, and it turns out that it's the leading cause of blindness in the world, especially for juveniles. 12% of juveniles in developed countries that contract uveitis will go blind eventually, and in underdeveloped countries it's as much as 70%. So we had to start realizing that life was going to change for us, and it could change for Joseph. And our biggest concern was getting our son through the transition and getting him to the point where he could continue to function. We still have a lot of doctor's appointments. And there were times that Joey would tell us he felt like a lab rat. And different kinds of doctors. He was seeing 5 or 6 different specialists as they tried to. Uveitis is a symptom of a systemic disorder, and so they were trying to find that systemic disorder. And in the course, Joey was tested for AIDS. Just a whole slew of different kinds of systemic disorders, and so it was pretty trying. But Joseph has become our hero. He stepped up to the plate. Whatever came his way, he dealt with it. He's maintained outstanding grades right now at Valley High School in the sophomore class. He's top 8% academically. He plays on the varsity tennis team. He made the varsity team as a freshman last year, and he's also a flight commander in ROTC, and just continually pushes past what other people would consider barriers, and lives this life in excellence. We everywhere we go, we get compliments. He's just amazing. People tell us how well behaved he is, how mature he is, and so he's adjusted well, and that's kind of helped us to cope with it as well. Is just knowing that he's happy, he's productive, and he's being a little man. So
It's been clear for 2 years now. We actually had an appointment last Tuesday. They're going to start taking me off my medicine now. So it's the 2 year period. I have to be clear. So now it's been 2 years. They're going to start taking me off the medicine. So hopefully by January, I'll be off of 2 of the 3 medications that I have to take for it. My wish was to go to Hawaii, take my family to Hawaii for a week, and they made it happen. They asked us when we wanted to go. We wanted to go during Christmas break, but we ended up going spring break. And so they gave us a whole week to go, paid for everything. We got sponsored by a jewelry company. And so what they had us planned out, they let us pick 3 events. And I picked a helicopter tour, a snorkeling tour, and then a submarine tour. So the first day we got there, we had nothing scheduled, and the next 3 days after that were, the events that we had set up. And then the last day, we ended up getting another free event type thing for a ziplining trip thing, because we went to a restaurant in Hawaii, and we told the waiter our story, and then a waitress came over and told us about how her daughter owned a ziplining tour company, and she got us hooked up with like a free zipline. So we ended up doing that on Friday too. So it was just a whole week in Hawaii, and it was amazing. We had a lot of free time to go do whatever we wanted to do as well. It wasn't just sticking to the one area or the hotel that we were at. So we had plenty of time to explore, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a dream vacation. It was, we'd go out on the balcony and look at the ocean, and we'd pinch ourselves to make sure it was real. I mean, it was just neat being able to have a motel right on the bay, the Kona Bay, and everyone is so good to us and so receptive. The Make-A-Wish people, the staff was outstanding. They were very encouraging to us. To make this trip come true for our family was something that if we'd been given the tools to build it ourselves, and had the resources to do it, we couldn't have done a better job. And then once we got there, people continued to bless us. We'd wear our Make-A-Wish shirts, and we'd have managers at restaurant take the ticket and and foot the bill for the meal. Like Joey said, this waiter had suffered through cancer. He was a cancer survivor, and he went and talked to one of the waitresses, who then hooked us up with the zip lining, and that's just how that whole week went. It was the kind of vacation you only visit in your dreams, but we know it was real. We have the souvenirs to prove it. So, and we talked about it on the airplane, maybe moving back there someday. That's probably not realistic, but it was that good that we actually thought, yeah, we could live here. Hawaii was amazing. It helped us cope, I mean, in a tremendous way. A lot of times when for a parent, it's your worst nightmare that your child would contract something that could be, is debilitating as losing your sight. And it's still a reality for Joseph. I mean, this thing could come back, and it's not, it's chronic. It's not something that's going to disappear. So we, but what it did is it just, it helped us get perspective on the right things. Having that family time together with no distractions, just the 4 of us in Hawaii for 7 days. Our only focus was on each other and the wonderful events that were unfolding for us. That strengthened our relationship as a family, our resolve as a family. It gave us the confidence that no matter what comes our way, we have a lot of people supporting us, and we'll be able to stand up to it and continue putting one foot in front of the other and having the great lives that we have. So it was a blessing. It was amazing.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. When I was on that trip, I wasn't sick. Everything that happened was just gone in Hawaii. I had no memories of it. I didn't think about it once. I was just having, it was kind of like a new life for me in that moment. There was just nothing wrong. And the fact that there are people donating and that you have volunteers working like multiple hours a week to help kids like me and kids are worse than me go on trips like this is amazing. And I think that their care and sympathy for other people in situations like this, and all they want to do is help them and give them literally a trip of their life, is amazing. So I just want to say thank you for, all their hard work and all their dedication to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah, they're our heroes. They do an awesome work. Definitely made a difference in our life. Thank you, Make-A-Wish.
My name is Giovanna Wright, and I'm 9 and I'm almost turning 10.
Summer of 2013, she had been very sick for weeks at a time and kind of didn't know what to do with her. We took her to the doctor, and they just they didn't really know that it was a tumor at that time. And I kept bringing her back week after week because I knew that there was something wrong with her. And finally, a doctor who is really pivotal, I think, in saving her life, decided to order a CAT scan, and that's what really found that there was some kind of growth, and ultimately led to an MRI, which showed that there was a tumor, a massive tumor in her brain. The treatment that Giovanna received was physical treatment. They had to cut her skull open, scoop out her tumor, and reattach her skull and bone, and it was pretty traumatic experience for her. Very, very bloody, blood, guts, staples. It was pretty gnarly.
Seeing Giovanna go through all that was really rough on us. I was working full time and then had to take time off to stay at the hospital with my husband, and we were trying to buy a house, and it just interrupted everything, and it's just really traumatic and hard on, I think, the marriage too. It affected us.
Yeah, our whole life was put on hold.
Yeah. And actually, she was very lucky. After the surgery, there wasn't any radiation or any further treatment that she needed. They got it all with the surgery.
My wish was to go to Disney World because me and my family never been on a vacation, so I thought it would be a nice way to spend my wish on a vacation.
Well, I think it meant a lot to be able to go on our first family vacation. And we went to Disney World and got to be together somewhere. We've just never done that as a family, and got to splurge and just have fun and not worry about anything.
Yeah, it was great. It was a dream come true. It was a wish that.
How about you?
I mean, so many people after the Super Bowl, they want to, go to Disney World or whatever, but we actually got to go, and it's something that I never thought we'd be able to do because that's very expensive, And Make-A-Wish stepped up. Make-A-Wish is just, I can't say enough good things about Make-A-Wish and their organization and the people that they have here. It's just fantastic.
I didn't know there was so many people out there that care for me and other kids that went through a lot.
Yeah, the amount of support, and just to know that total strangers sometimes, I mean, they're all strangers, but sometimes they'll give big checks, small checks, whatever, that they give to an organization like this, and it truly is a magical organization. I mean, they expected nothing from us and gave us everything, and it was just mind blowing to see the amount of genuine, caring that's out there in the world to people that go through traumatic experiences. And we're lucky that Giovanna made it, and she's cancer free. I know some people don't make it, and to them, I mean, it must be just a blessing, like a godsend, to have something like this happen to them. And it was for us too, as well.
And I just like to say too, when we got the phone call, I was really surprised. I thought that it was a mistake because she was okay, and I thought it was just for terminal cases. And they informed me that that changed, and that I was just in shock and blown away myself. And just really lucky and thankful to everyone that helped. And we just love to be a part of Make-A-Wish future events and help however we can.
Yeah, we donate any chance we get. We donate money, time. If they're selling Make-A-Wish bracelets, we buy them.
Movies,
the
the stars. We donate.
Any chance we get, we try to donate to Make-A-Wish. I wanted to say one more thing. The doctors are the ones that saved her life, but Make-A-Wish, I feel, saved her spirit. And that's all. I just wanted you guys to know that.
Thank you, Make-A-Wish.
My name's Eric Marinas.
And I'm Tanya Marinas, and this is our son, Connor Marinas. And we've lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico all of our lives.
How old are you?
5.
We found out something was going on with Connor about when he was about 1 year old. He wasn't growing, he was having trouble crawling, his muscles were real weak, and he just wasn't a typical child for his age and able to do everything. And so the doctor noticed that he had stopped growing and said we need to go see a specialist. He was diagnosed. Right now he's at stage 4 chronic kidney disease. They believe there's many chronic kidney diseases, but they believe it's nephronophthisis, which I always pronounce incorrectly because it's a big long word. But basically he's been receiving treatment for that since he was about 1 year old, and he's been going through physical therapy and speech therapy and occupational therapy since then, since he was about 3 and younger. It's been real tough. We're very lucky to have UNM here in town and all of their great knowledge and medical services that they can provide for us. But coming up, we are going to be going in for a transplant. And the traveling so far we've had to make 2 trips out to Stanford. So it's Palo Alto, California. And that's been hard just because it's not here. And when we do go out there, we're going to have to be out there for 2 to 3 months. Not being at home or being away from family in a city we don't know. But in terms of his treatment and stuff, we're able to be back and forth from the home to hospital, and we have a great team of doctors that support us as well as a lot of family that helps support us. What was your wish, buddy?
Go see a NASCAR race.
Go see a NASCAR race. He wanted to meet a race car driver.
And see a real race. And my husband and him love to watch NASCAR together and play with the race cars and mimic, get your engine started and all of that stuff. And so that's what he wanted to do, was go to a real race and meet a race car driver.
And what race car driver did you get to meet?
Jeff Gordon.
You're his number 1 fan, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's my buddy.
Yeah.
Where'd we go to?
The Talladega Super Speedway.
That's right.
It was amazing. We didn't even know much about Make-A-Wish at the time. We didn't know if he would even be considered for a wish. We were very stressed out because with our lifestyle, we've had to change a lot of that. He's on a feeding tube. He gets about 1 to 2 injections daily, and he's on about 10 medicines throughout the day. And so being able to go and not have to worry about how we were going to pay for it financially, how are we going to be able to get around with all his medical needs, that was awesome for it to be planned out like that, and be able to just function as a normal family and not worry about anything.
I think it was kind of like a turnkey thing. We didn't have to worry about anything. We just kind of got on the plane. Everything was taken care of. It was top notch. It was great. So we're happy to just kind of go and forget about everything back here and just have fun.
And just be a family of 3 and not have to worry about, we need somebody's help from the family and that kind of thing. Because every step of the way, we've had both sides of our family supporting us and helping us. So it was nice just to get away and be able to spend time together as a family of 3.
What you're doing is giving a lot of people some freedom, finally. And we thank everyone so much. It's been great.
And it was just amazing, too, that our sponsor for our wish was through Bosque schools here in town, and seeing a younger generation be involved in the community and seeing the difference that they can make in child's lives. It's huge. I mean, for him, this was a big deal, and it was so exciting. And since our trip, he's continued to cheer on who? Yes, and all of that. Until this day, we still talk about his wish and his trip and all his memories, and he gets to share it with everybody, and that brings him joy too. When he's stressed out or in the hospital or sick, we constantly have a good memory to go back and reflect on for him. It's a happy place for him. Look, show him your
Tell
card.
them what it is.
It's
A signed card by Jeff Gordon, huh? And then what is this?
a big jacket.
Race car jacket?
Yeah, he signed it, but
And what was your favorite part?
me and Jeff Gordon.
Yeah? And what are these? Can you tell me about these?
Lug nuts.
And who gave you the lug nuts? Did all the race car pit teams give them to you as they were working on the cars before the race?
Yes.
Yeah? Thank you, Make-A-Wish and Bosque Schools.
My name is Joshua Melendez from LatinoBeast.com. I just wanted to say a thank you to everybody who came out and helping us spread awareness to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Thank you to the families who were courageous enough to share their stories with us today. A special thank you to JG Creative, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the Hispanic Cultural Center, the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, the Hispanic Heritage Committee, Rachel's Communications, and Univision. We could not do any of this without you. Thank you so much.